Okay guys, we have Melissa DeLaCruz back with us, and we're talking ombres because it's spring and spring means ombres. So we want to know how to do it with dip powder. So can you show us?
I can today with conversion gel and the resin system.
So both ways. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Great. I'm super excited to see this. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm back for some education and to show you how to ombre with our dipping powders. I'm going to use our resin system and our conversion gel system, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my prep on both of them. I'm going to go ahead and push back my client's cuticles. Never skip that step, totally important. Then I'm going to go into like 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs to prep the natural nail. Now the designs I'm showing you are more for a natural nail or an overlay. So what you're going to do is go ahead and come in and prep around the cuticle area and then tickle all the way through using all your zones. Let's go ahead and come here. I'm going to come in and dust them. Always dust off her dust first. Then come in to swipe. Swipe changes the pH balance on her nail. Takes off any debris, any dust, and changes the pH balance so everything I put on will stick to it. Okay, I'm going to show you with our resin system first, and it's numbered 1 through 4. So when I use the resin system, I do not use protein bond. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete my whole resin nail from start to finish, and then I'm going to go into my conversion gel. Just want to leave it pretty simple so you could follow all the steps with one because they're a little different for both of them. So I prepped the nail with a 150, swiped it, and from here what I'm going to do is go into number 1, which is prep. This also is going to change her pH balance. Now it's a little different on the training hand than it is on a person. Sometimes this stays looking wet on plastic. On a person, it's gonna look really dry like the neighbor right here. Okay, I just wanna clarify that. On the person, it'll dry out looking like this, but for some reason on the plastic, it stays looking a little wet. No big deal. So it is a dehydrator, okay? So the colors that I'm gonna use is Lychee Bloom and Rosie Posie. These are really fun summer colors to mix. So I already activated with number 1. You can see it still looks wet. On a real person's nail, it's gonna look dry like this one, okay? So from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into 2. A lot of times I like to have a little thing here in case I wanna wipe my brush, a little swipe pad, lint free. So I'll have everything ready to go, including my little pusher I'm going to use to ombre with. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna load up my brush, and this is very important when you do this. A lot of times, this is a huge tip. A lot of times you see people kind of take a lot of it off. What this is doing is making it more sticky, and you're never gonna have enough product on your brush to transfer to the natural nail and for it to actually absorb your slick pour, okay? So it's very important that you put a liberal amount on, so then that way it'll have something to soak into, plus create the strength in the natural nail, okay? Put a good liberal coat. Let's start with Rosie Posie first. So what I'm going to do is kind of get it more right here. Then saturate it and kind of overlap it a little. Let it sit a few seconds. So as it's sitting, what it's doing is it's actually absorbing some of the powder into the resin. So from here, I'm going to tap it off. And then what you're gonna do if you're doing a full set is go on to do all 10 of the nails. By the time you're done with the 10th one, you could come here and dust this off and repeat the process. So you're gonna come through and dust it off. You are not going to activate it. You're not going to use number 3. That's where there's a common mistake made a lot. Okay, you're gonna wait to use that. You're gonna go back into number 2. So you could see some spots you miss a little. It's not quite blended as well as you want. You get it in your second coat. Okay, so let's go in number 2. And I'm gonna have this here ready to roll kind of underneath. It's faster for me. load my brush up, come in here. I'm gonna really get it good around my sides. Get a little bit more. Now, these coats are actually absorbing the color and also creating the strength for the nail. Okay, so let's go in with a little bit of Rosie Posie right here. I'm gonna put a little bit more Lychee here first. I'm gonna put a little bit more of this one. There we go. See how I kind of mixed them together? Wait a sec. Dust it off. Let's put a little bit more Rosie. I think a little more will absorb in there. Let's go ahead and set it. You'll do that to all 5 nails. Then you'll go dust off your next nail, your next hand actually, and then repeat the process there. Okay, so once you do all 10 of them, you finished with your other hand, you're gonna come in and dust this off. Okay, sometimes you'll see the fade is not so blended in. It is harder to do it in resin, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 1 color to fade into the bottom of it. So I'm gonna put 1 more coat of base. I don't need to put a lot, it's just more for looks. So I'm gonna come in. You could get away with 2 sometimes, and sometimes you could get away with 3. So in this case, I kind of want to fade it a little more, so I'm going to come in here and bring my pink down, my Rosie Posie just a little bit more, just a tad bit more, and kind of fade it in. See, I'm kind of just slightly, I can see my fade coming in now, much better. So you saw I put just a little bit. You'll find when I do it with conversion gel, it naturally does it on its own usually, and it's because it's absorbing with gel. That looks really good. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this to dry. Okay, once you've fixed all your other ones that you needed to blend in, say you needed to do it to 5 or 2, you'll know when you look at it if it wasn't really faded in well. You'll do the 3rd step, just don't use a lot of product and lightly dust it in how I showed you. So what you'll do from here is you'll go into your number 3, your activator, and you're gonna go over the entire nail with activator. I kind of put this here because sometimes it gets a little color on it. Activate all 10 nails. So once you activate all 10 and you wait about a minute, you could go into either filing with the 150 or buffing, whatever you think the nail needs. So on some of them, this one looks pretty good, but on some of them you'll have to file your side a little here, just to kind of clean it all up. It doesn't need a whole lot of work from here. As you can see, it kind of has a natural kind of arch. I do find that the resin does settle a little flatter than when I go into conversion gel. That's why I'm gonna do them both at the same time so you could see the difference of it. So right here, I think I'm just gonna buff on top. Oh, let me use this a little here because it's a little higher. So I'm just gonna blend in real light. Do not have a heavy hand. You just need a light hand. It'll come down very easy. Okay, so all I'm doing is just making sure it's all even. Let me blend in a little more right here. And as you can see, I'm lightly touching it. I'm not filing aggressive like it's an acrylic nail. So from here, what I'm gonna do, dust off her nails. And I'm going to get some lint-free wipes. What I'm going to do is go in with my activator, apply another coat over it. Then it's really important you do this step. It helps with your top coat dry well and kind of more smooth. So you're gonna go ahead and wipe it a little, like scrub it into the nail. And from there, you're gonna go into number 4. So number 4 is your top coat. You have to wipe your brush afterwards and go in. What that does when you wipe your brush is it's stopping it from getting tacky and keeping them all shiny. That's where people make a lot of mistakes, is they don't wipe it off before they go in to apply on the next nail. And what happens is by the 3rd or 4th one, it gets real tacky and kind of dull and really doesn't shine. By wiping off the excess that the air's been hitting, it helps when you go in to get new and go into your 2nd coat. So once you do all 10, you could apply a 2nd coat, and then I would wait about 5 minutes before you oil them and send them on their way. So now what I'm going to do is apply my 2nd coat. Again, wiping my brush before I put it back in. Now I'll wait 5 to 4 minutes before, usually 5. It takes you that long, clean up, get ready for your next one a little bit for that 5 minutes. You could also use a gel top coat. I personally prefer a gel top coat. It's faster and it's guaranteed flawless. If your client accidentally touches this, it's gonna be dull and you're gonna have to repeat the process. But it does work as long as I don't trust anything. It has a really beautiful shine. Okay, so this one's dry, so now I'm gonna go ahead and demo for you the dipping system in our conversion gel. So, conversion gel comes with the base and a top. Okay, so I'm gonna put all of my powder in my base. Now remember, if all you have is top coat left and you're out of base, it's not gonna absorb evenly or strong in your top coat. So you have to put your powder in your base. So let's start from the top. I prepped it with my medium arbor band. Now the conversion gel you protein bond. Remember I didn't protein bond the resin? Do not protein bond the resin. That's probably the only system we use in all of our systems that we don't protein bond. So here we go, protein bonding now for our base. Now you'll go through all 10 and then go back and put one more coat a second time. This is just for added insurance. And let's go into our base, conversion base. Now again, you're gonna put a good amount because all of your powder is going to absorb in here. That's what's gonna create your color fade, your strength. I love it in conversion gel, but those of you know me know I love gel, but I like the way the ombre comes out. It's a little bit different. You'll be able to see the difference. So from here, what I'm going to do is go into my pink color first, start heavy down here, and then bring in my Lychee Bloom, kind of overlap it. And as you watch it, you could physically see it kind of start to absorb. So from here, I'm gonna dust it off, okay? So now we're gonna go under the light for 1 minute. So if you look really close, you could see the fade is already really good. And it's because gel has more of a substance there, it's a little thicker, so it gives it the opportunity to kind of fade into each other when you overlap it. When you use something more like a resin, it's a little thinner and it's more glue, so it absorbs some, but not as much as gel does. So it looks pretty good. If you look at it from the side, it already has pretty good body. So if it's a really short nail, you could get away with one coat. As they grow a little bit longer, not much longer than this, of course, for your overlay with a dipping system, you could do 2 coats because it'll add a little more thickness to it. So let's do 2. Let's come in with our conversion base. I'll come in here, kind of fade it again. I don't need a whole lot, so I'm just trying to fade it a little more. Put a little bit more on the tip. Okay, you could see it's absorbing it really well. Go ahead and tap it off and then go under the light for 1 full minute. So from here, what I'm going to do is use ManiQ Cleanser. And the reason why it's more of an alcohol-based product, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off. Now what I'm gonna do with this is just kind of shape it. It's pretty much shaped for me. I'm just gonna make sure my sides are clean and straight. What I love about the gel is I haven't even filed it much. I really don't have too much. It already has a nice, beautiful shape to it. It just kind of comes out more natural and sexy to me for some reason. The other one comes out a little more flat. I added 3 coats to this, remember? This I only did 2 and you already have like that nice arch. But it's cool to know both systems because some people don't want to go under a light. Some people just want to have an artificial enhancement without going under the UV light or LED light. So here what I'm going to do is go ahead and shape it. And I'm using my buffer. You very rarely see me use my buffer this much. With SlickPour I tend to more because it doesn't need a lot of filing. But then you'll find I'll come in and slightly put in those little grooves so my gel top coat will really hold on. Do you see how easy that cleanup was? It's very easy. So from here, what I'm gonna do is dust off her nail. Go ahead and cleanse it off. Now I'm going to go into my conversion top coat, and I'm gonna add a little bit of Protein Bond. What Protein Bond's gonna do is hold on to my top coat, okay? So I'll Protein Bond and then go into my conversion top coat. Now let's back up a little. Let's say on all of my resin nail, I decided I wanted to put a gel top coat. From the point I filed and buffed it, I would have cleansed it, Protein Bond, and then went into gel top. That's an option, okay? But if you want to use all resin, you do it exactly how I taught you from start to finish on this first one. Okay, so once you Protein Bond it, you go into conversion gel. Cover the whole entire surface. So what I'm going to do is cure this for 1 full minute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get my ManiQ Cleanser, my lint-free wipe, wipe off my dispersion layer, and they're both done. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it answers a lot of questions you have. We get questions all the time about ombreing with them both. There you go. So try which one you like best.
Hey guys, we hope you love our nail videos. Comment below and let us know what you want to see next. To see more, go right over here. To subscribe to our channel, head right over here.